Kylie K here with Your Soul Wisdom. You know what? I'm very much on the fly and I don't plan anything. But can I just take a moment to admire my sign? Okay, but I
Didn't that,
wanted
Kylie?
my sign. I did want to start something new, and I find you know if you watch the podcast, I can be a little bit quiet. I'm very much an observer. I will interject
Mm.
some humor every now and again, but it is really hard to compete with four other women talking. Okay. If you are surrounded, sometimes it's a lot. And like, love you all, but sometimes I want some one-on-one time to really get deeper. So, welcome to Kylie's Corner because I'm literally in a corner. Yay! And we're just
Yay!
going to wing this. And I, of course, wanted to start with the lovely goddess, Amanda. So we would
Nice one.
so to give this a bit of a preface why I wanted Amanda first in the popping of thy cherry for Kylie's Corner is because we had light body. Okay. Amanda
Yeah.
has performed miracles, cosmic surgery probably if she wanted to, she could do it. Cosmic surgery, releasing, um, really bringing me back to that remembering space, right? And it has changed me in so many ways. And one of our last conversations, we talked about how we are kind of trained, right? We're trained to expect that external validation and giving that power to an external source, right? Like, God has given me these gifts, and I'm sorry, God didn't, because God didn't do your work, right? So, anyway, I wanted to talk to Amanda about how does how do you what is the reaction, the feeling in your heart when you say God has bestowed me these gifts, or like I only have my gifts because of an external source, even if it's universal source, white light, whatever it is, versus your internal like power. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wow. Big question.
It
Beautiful
is.
question.
I start heavy. Welcome to
Yeah.
Kylie's Corner.
All right. So let's dive in. My thoughts on it. Um, I sometimes think that people don't really understand what they're saying when they say that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
In general
And I
too, but
think
yeah.
that sometimes, yeah, I think that sometimes people don't realize that, especially when they're saying that God bestowed these gifts upon me, or it wasn't me, it's God, it's the divine and stuff like that. When people say, okay, so how do I do this? This is there. So there's like two different parts to this. So if it's coming from a religious place whereby people, say, well, God will do this for you and God will give you this and God will do that. My question to that is that if it's coming from a religious place and it's coming from, say, like a more biblical kind of place, well, within the Bible, it tells you that you are a spark of source and that you are source. But everybody likes to, in a sense, interpret that away from what it's actually saying. It's there in black and white. Do you know what I mean? And so if that's the case, then God hasn't given you anything. You've really given it to yourself because you are source and or you are God. And that's a whole other story as well, source and God, whether or not they are actually two separate entities, frequencies or beings. So, I
Hmm.
guess that's a whole other conversation. So there's that. And then if you're a spiritual person, lots of what we call light workers, but I like to say light bringers, they love to when something so like amazing happens or when they're really in their power, they're doing their thing, they love to say, well, it's nothing to do with me. I'm just the vessel. It's just come through me. And it's, I don't have anything to do with that. And that really kind of irks me. It really kind of gets me mad because that in and of itself is giving away your power. You know, I'm more of the case whereby I'd be more happy if you said, well, that's in collaboration with my team. That's in collaboration with, say, if you want to put it to source or whatever. Because to be quite honest with you, I don't think source gives a flying toenail what you are up to, what you're doing, or what you are not doing.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
and I think that people can't have it both ways. They can't have it both ways. They can't say that, well, source is involved in everything, and it's source doing this, or it's source doing that, or it's God doing this, or it's God doing that. And at the same point in time, um, at the same point in time, um, what is it I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that what you're doing is then you are then giving God or source all the human attributes that kind of
Right.
locks it down into like a really tight, small container. And if God or is the all of it, then it's all the different parts of us. So, am I making sense? What I'm saying is that
Mhm.
it's not anything external to you. It is really all of you. It's everything that you are. And the sooner you get that, the sooner you realize that, then you could really start to expand on that. You can really start to learn about who you are and what is it you are wanting to do? What is it that you're wanting to create? What is it? Where are you when you're in that space of creating? What does that feel like? Because when you keep giving it away, you'll never really know what that magic feels like. You'll never really know when you're in that space of creating or what things feel like. And then the day when that does happen, you're shocked. You're like, well, what's going on in my body? I don't know what that, I don't like it. I feel really anxious, I feel really nervous. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is because you've never really given yourself the chance to really experience yourself and really experience that magic. This, you are not the vessel. This is the vessel. This, what some people call it a meat sack, and I really hate that term. It just,
That's the
I
same.
don't like it.
This
It's
sack
all
of
horrible.
bones. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
yeah, go on.
So
Does that make sense?
I absolutely, and it's so beautifully put. And I just really, I was one of those people for up until November of last year, where I was like,
Mm,
I am just the vessel. I can't take credit for these messages or these insights. I was, and that was until you, right?
I
Your
didn't know
fault. Your fault.
that.
My apologies. Yeah.
I didn't know
No, it
that.
was and you know what it was? It was I was scared of tapping into ego. Does that make
Yes.
so it was
Oh,
like for me,
absolutely.
so for me, it was like I can become so self-absorbed if I allow myself to feel like, you know what? That was me that gave those insights, and I shouldn't be giving spirit the 100% credit, right? Because I'm just the vessel.
No.
Right.
Oh my
I
God. That is
know. But like,
all
do you
my
see
skin
what
just
the
goes.
light body experience has done for me? But
That
not
is
just the
what?
light
That's
body,
beautiful.
it's the Amanda magic that goes with the light body, right? And I think that as a practitioner, we also think, well, I have been trained, I'm certified in a modality. How can I take credit for your insights when it's a trained modality and it's not coming from me, right? So they lack that like that there's that disconnected ego or this the imposter syndrome and
Yeah, yeah.
all this stuff. So I didn't realize that until light body and you were like, no, that's you. That's coming from you. And it took shifting of that energy to get to that point. But when did you realize that it was you that creates your own magic because you are source, regardless of what it's labeled as? Do you give credit to source for being the magic you are, or do you give yourself the credit without having the source? Does that make sense? That was a very loaded question.
I give like so
Woo!
I'll start back and
Yes,
go I'll
start with
start at the
like
back
16 questions back.
and
Yes.
go backwards and then hopefully I can answer them all. Um I I have gratitude to my team and to I don't know if I give gratitude to Source because I'm really in the place of Source does not it doesn't it's not it doesn't care. And if it's God and I have to give all this stuff to God, then really truly that's another rabbit hole. What is God's? Are
Right.
we talking about the fact that there is this entity that is God and it needs all of this stuff? But I do give gratitude to my team because of their collective agreement to walk this journey with me. So I do. So sometimes I'll come out of a session and I'll be like, oh God, that was beautiful. And also I'll come out of sessions whereby there's so much for me to also learn and take away from that. And so I do. I give gratitude to my team, to my source, and I also speak to them and I communicate with them. Um, but when did I get to a space and a place whereby I realized that that's me? I think that came with, it was more of a knowing, it was more of an embodiment. And I realized that when I began to get irked or irritated when people would say, well, when they've done something amazing and they would say, well, it's not me. It's not me.
Hmm.
It's my guides. Your guides, the term guides tells you exactly what they are. Yeah.
Right. It's self-explanatory, but for me, I was like,
Self-explanatory.
yeah,
Do you know? Right.
yeah,
And so and so that information that you, because what has happened is that when that information comes through you, it's because you've sent a request for the information, whether you're tapping into whichever space or library, or whichever, for me, whichever version of you that has all that's contained in that, where you are pulling the memory from or the remembrance from, that's you doing the work. That's you doing it. So it's almost like you send out the request and that information comes back. For me, when we go back into the thing of, and I really do get it, because for me, I ask and I get answered. And so that thing of ego, that's how we have been trained throughout millennium. It's about, God forbid you ever own something or own up to
right.
something, or say, you know what, that's amazing. That's such a brilliant job that I've done, or stuff like that. God forbid you do that, because then that's ego. Who are you to take that? No, me, lowly me, Lord, poor little me. No, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. So you're giving it away to who? Who are you giving it away to? And I always think, and we've said this before, we say in the podcast all the time, that when you own it, when you say that, because then what you do is that you see the benefits of what you're doing, what you're giving. So you continue to hone it, you craft your work, you really polish it, you really bring yourself to the work, you do your research, or you do your necessary growth and expanding in your meditations. And how do I be, not, is it, I don't know if the word's better, but how do I be excellent? How do I
Hmm.
be what's the word? Oh my God, I used to have another word. For it. How do I do that? But if you don't own it, then you'll just sit back. You'll just sit back, keep doing what you keep doing, and say, well, whatever the quality of it is, what's got nothing to do with me. That's them. That's them. You give it away all the
No,
time.
I know.
So who are you? And what are you doing?
You know what? That's exactly it, right? And it is there was that shift for me and it's funny because I had a mentor many years ago, Robert Milne, and he was like, my messages, and he was a renowned medium, right? And he was like, my messages don't come externally. They come from in here. And I'm like, how does that compute? Right? Because I'm receiving, like, I am pretty much this stagnant ball in space, and I'm just a magnet for whatever I'm putting out there. So, how the hell can I claim that it was me that did it when I'm just asking for that? But when, after talking to you, and I think doing that light body to release some of the weight, some of that ball in space, and to become energy in space, right? Instead of the weight of the
Mm,
ball, I think that I realized that
mm.
you are right, right? It is around you are anything and everything. Therefore, it can come from you. And it is absolutely okay to own that because you are infinite energy and you're connecting to infinite
Right.
energy.
Infinite energy. Yeah. It really, really is. It's all you. And if you do, and if it is coming from a place of ego, and listen, don't get me wrong, you can get people who do our work that, you take one sniff and it really is ego. But
Hmm.
then ego shows up in the quality of work.
Yes. Yes. And if you are doing this level of work and you are meeting people at that from that ego space, they're gonna be shit. I'm just saying what I'm saying because I
Yeah.
stand.
And what you also, and the place that you're in is also the place that if you're coming from ego, that you and your clients are at two different levels.
Hmm.
I don't ever think that. I always think, I mean, because I have no idea who I'm going to be working with. I've worked with incarnating angelics. I've worked with all different kinds of being, even if they're not angelics, even if they're other sort of like beings and things like that. I find that fascinating. I find it
Hmm.
fascinating that sometimes I'm literally flying, hanging onto the coattails of clients because I am growing, I'm learning, I'm expanding. And what I learn from them, I know it's always such beautiful information that I can pass on. So when you're not coming from a place of ego, then you put yourself in a place whereby I am learning from my clients as well. And I am also am I teaching? I guess. I don't know. But I am in a bigger and better place of remembering because I believe that's their agreement with me. When they find me, it's because there's something that I need to catalyze into remembrance. Otherwise, you wouldn't find me because that's not the
Absolutely.
conversation we're not gonna have some conversation about, you know, making tea or stuff,
Yeah, with the
although I could
weather
have that
or
conversation.
something
Yeah.
bullshit. Yeah.
You know? So
That is
yeah.
amazing. So I think that this is a good stopping point for now. Thank you for popping my Kylie Corner cherry. I could not have thought of anyone better for this. And you know what? If you want to hang around, we might, have another little chat and do a part two.
Beautiful.
All
Beautiful. Would
right.
love to. Nice
Well,
one.
how do you end these? Because I don't have Yana here. So I'm just going to say thanks for listening, and I will drop links below. Your Soul Wisdom. We have our podcast going live no, it's not live. We pre-record things now I will leave
We
everything below
do.
because
We
I
do.
don't know time
Everything will be
zones.
there.
I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm doing. But anyway,
You'll
thank you
be
so much for
beautiful.
stopping by. Take care, and we'll see you
Take
later.
care.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.